Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a warmly welcome to our roundtable discussion within the first virtual Chillventa. I would like to invite you today to join our discussion with the topic The Value of Retrofit in the World of Refrigeration, Heating, Ventilating and Air Conditioning. My name is Andreas and I'm an area sales manager within ZIEHL-ABEGG. The topic retrofit became very popular the last couple of years. There are different reasons behind, such as commercial reasons, legal aspects, but also image reasons became very popular. But the most important is, of course, CO2 emission. The German Ministry of Nature and Environmental Protection has launched a report which says that 17% of the entire German electrical consumption can be directly dedicated to refrigeration and air conditioning only. This results into 60 million tons of hazardous greenhouse gases every year. And I'm pretty sure you agree with me that we need to change that. We cannot accept this anymore. Part of the solution is retrofit. Retrofit is nothing new in ZIEHL-ABEGG. ZIEHL-ABEGG is successful with partners within the retrofit business since more than 15 years. So, how do we go on today within our discussion round? I would like to start with an introduction round from my guests here in the studio. Then we dive immediately into the dialogue. And for that, I would like to invite you, ladies and gentlemen, in front of the screens to use the chat function to send us your ideas, recommendations, or even questions. In advance to the exhibition, ZIEHL-ABEGG has sent thousands of invitations to partners and to customers, also potential customers. And we already got certain feedback and also questions from them. And these questions, together with your ones in the chat, are going to be answered in the second part of our discussion. I would already apply for your understanding if the time runs out and we are not able to answer all these questions, that you give us the chance that we are going to give you an answer after the exhibition. So, now I'm really happy to introduce my colleagues here in the discussion round. All of them are colleagues and all of them are very much experienced in the retrofit business. I would like to start with Harald Keim to the most right. He's the sales representative Region 1 in the south of Germany, having a great level of experience in retrofit. Then the gentleman next to me is Mr. Florian Wagner, responsible for the development of the retrofit business in the export department, together with all our subsidiaries. The gentleman to my left side is Mr. Nils Kowalke. He is an area sales manager responsible for ZIEHL-ABEGG in the UK and some more subsidiaries bordering Germany, being faced with retrofit projects every day. Gentlemen, a warmly welcome. So, just to start our discussion, I would like to ask you, Florian, how is retrofit business in general defined within the ZIEHL-ABEGG world?
Yeah, thank you, Andreas, for the nice introduction and pointing out the relevance of doing retrofit business. When it comes to retrofit, we are not talking about a simple replacement of a fan. This would be the classic definition of our spare part business. What we call retrofit is a great technical and economic improvement in technology. And our mission is to provide the best possible solution in energy efficiency and reliability for our customers and the operator of the unit.
Okay, tell me, how is the usual process defined, or how does that work if an operator is interested in to do a retrofit business up to the point where the new installation is being switched on?
Yeah, good question. First of all, we have in all our subsidiaries, we have specialists who are taking care of the local market and the local projects, also in Germany and in every subsidiary. Then in general, you can divide the process into 4 steps. First of all, we do the analysis of the current situation. Most of the time, our partners are executing these measurements, and if the nameplate, for example, is missing. The second point is that we do a selection of the fans based on the acquired data. The third step is that we do a comparison of between the old and the new fans and give you an estimation of the return on investment of the retrofit business. Then the fourth point is that we replace the old fans by new state-of-the-art fans, and this is also mainly executed by our partners.
So Germany is the biggest market within the ZIEHL-ABEGG organization. Harald, can you tell us how high is the rate, or can you give us an estimation how high is the rate of retrofit projects which are usually addressed to you, which make technically and commercially sense?
This is also an interesting question. In general, the most projects make technical and commercially sense. Of course, there's a minor portion of projects who are sometimes limited concerning the opportunities. But the reasons for that are, for example, the limiting factors like the load profile or the running time, where you, for example, do not reach savings or achieve savings reasonable, or have acceptable ROEs. But the majority of the projects are successful, and most of them have an ROE of less than 3 years. And the experience shows that the ROE is much longer, or is going to be accepted much longer than 3 years. This depends, for example, on the running times of the air handling units, which is, or the lifetime, I would say. It's more than 20 years.
That's an interesting statement, because, you know, the longer the return of investment, the bigger is the potential for ZIEHL-ABEGG in the market. Nils, you are the representative here from the export department. Can you please tell us what are the most important reasons for an operator to retrofit their equipment?
Yes, Andreas. I think, in my opinion, it's not a surprise that a huge potential of saving money is one of the main drivers behind to do retrofit activities. Of course, you also have a nice side effect, which is the reduced CO2 footprint. Another very important point, also in my opinion, is the rethinking process of our industry, but also the whole society. The awareness about limited resources is increasing more and more. Another very good point for me is that state-of-the-art devices should have a sustainable and also fail-safe operation. It's not acceptable to have any downtimes. For that reason, and as the fan is the heart of the system, it makes absolutely sense to use latest technology rather than old ones, which would fail sooner or later. Furthermore, another point for me is the value of the premises. If an owner equips his premises with the latest technology, of course, the value simply becomes higher. Also a driver behind. And then, you mentioned it also before, we have global but also national requirements. Just think of the ERP directive and all of the regulations coming out from that. This is also a driver using retrofit activities.
Okay, thank you. So, Florian, I'm pretty sure you as a retrofit specialist can tell us about the products usually being sold and distributed from ZIEHL-ABEGG into the retrofit business.
Yeah, of course. It's a pleasure to me to give our guests a quick overview about the products which are mainly used in the retrofit business. Therefore, we prepared a presentation, and to give you an overview about the product portfolio, we came from our FC fan with an AC motor, which was developed in around the 70s. Then we had an improvement in aerodynamics, and our FE2 OLED, also with an AC motor, was born. The next step forward was the FE2 OLED with an EC motor. And now we have our premium product, the ZA Plus, with an optimized full bell mouth and guide vanes integrated. This is really the state-of-the-art fan regarding aerodynamics and acoustics. And all our EC products can be controlled in our ZA code system and can be monitored in our ZA Blue Galaxy. I would like to give you an insight later on, but if you are interested in our cloud solutions, you can please make use of our roundtable discussion, digitalization, tomorrow at 4 p.m. To give you an insight where our products are used, please have a look at this project where we retrofitted a condensing unit. Here we replaced a common AC fan with our ZA Plus EC fan system. A huge benefit in this project was that we did not have to change the existing nozzle. Therefore, we used an adapter ring to mount the ZA Plus directly on the existing customer nozzle. This makes it very easy for the assembly staff to install the fan. In this project, energy savings of 23% have been realized. Our next product is the ECQ. This is a very special product used among others in display cabinets in supermarkets. With this fan, we have 3 different speed options and a reverse mode is possible. For example, why do you need 3 different speeds? If you have a day and night mode in your supermarket, you can control the fan, for example, in the day mode at full speed, and in the night mode, you lower the speed down. The reverse mode of the fan is good if you want to clean your unit. Another benefit of this fan is the low thermal loss, which saves additional energy because the fan won't heat up additionally the unit. And the pictures shown in this slide shows a retrofit project in a supermarket where unit coolers and display cabinets have been modernized. The energy savings in this project were about 20%. But let's make a little excursus in our products used in the air conditioning market. This is also a big market for us. That's why I want to give you an insight there too. First of all, we have our direct-driven plug fan with an IEC motor. This is still used in many applications. Then we have our plug fan with a PM Blue motor with a frequency inverter on top. This fan can be controlled stepless from 0 to 100%. Then we have our premium products for retrofit, for example a GR module with an EC motor and optimized impeller geometry. Then another special product for the retrofit business is our stackable ZA Cube. With this fan you can build up multiple fan arrangements without the need of any additional parts. And also here all the EC products can be connected to our cloud service ZA Blue Galaxy. To show you a project where these fans are used in, I prepared something for you. Here we replaced a single fan with 4 of our ZA cubes. With this option you have a redundancy operation, or a redundancy operation is possible. This means if one fan fails, you can control the others to compensate the lack of airflow. In comparison, if you have just a single fan in your unit or a single belt-driven fan, for example, your whole unit would have a breakdown if the fan fails. And also we have an improvement in the air quality because we have direct-driven EC fans and there's no belt anymore. And you can imagine the belt in the system has abrasion, and these particles are still in the air then. And therefore you don't need additional filters, for example. Then our next project is with our ZA Bluefin. There we also replaced a belt-driven fan with the GR modules and the ZA Bluefin impeller. In this project, we had to build up an additional structure. Compared to the ZA Cube, you don't need this there. But also with this option, you save a lot of space, as you see in the pictures, and also the redundancy operation is possible. Then come to our last product. This is a very branch-specific product for kitchen exhaust. And the special thing behind it is that we also have an EC motor, which is capsuled. And why is the motor capsuled? Because you have particles of grease, for example, in the air, and this would harm the motor, for example, if the grease would get stuck on the cooling ring. And with this option, this is a self-cooled motor because it sucks its own cooling airflow through one pipe. And the fan can be used to temperatures up to 80 degrees. Then to give you a short insight in our ZIEHL-ABEGG Galaxy, with our ZIEHL-ABEGG Galaxy, you can check your application from everywhere at any time. And this enables service partners to offer predictive maintenance services in the future, and this will secure the operator a reliable operation of the unit. And also another benefit is of predictive maintenance services that you will save money. For example, the facility management will save money because they don't have to send staff on site for the fan analyzation, and the operator will save money because he has no downtime of the unit. So to give you a quick overview what you can monitor with the ZIEHL-ABEGG Galaxy, you can, for example, monitor the temperature inside the motor, the current speed of the fan, the vibrations of the fan or the complete unit, and also the power consumption. But there are many more parameters you can monitor with the ZIEHL-ABEGG Galaxy. This was a quick overview about the products we use mainly in the retrofit market, and also a quick insight in our ZIEHL-ABEGG Galaxy.
Yes, that was a very fast move through a big portion of ZIEHL-ABEGG's entire product portfolio. But the most of the products we have seen are OEM products, which ZIEHL-ABEGG usually sells into the OEM market. So are there any specific products in your product portfolio specially dedicated to retrofit business?
Yeah, of course. We also designed a special product, especially for the refrigeration market, which is our adapter ring. Therefore, we also prepared a presentation, and we designed a special adapter ring to fit our ZA Plus onto an existing nozzle. And here you can see the adapter solution in direct comparison. So you see the standard fan, it was an old FB fan, and next to it is a ZA Plus with our adapter ring on the customer nozzle. The shown option includes a hinge function, so you can easily open the unit up without removing any cables and without the need of an electrician. But what are the benefits of this ring, or why do we use this ring? Because from time to time you need to clean your coils to restore the initial cooling capacity and efficiency of your unit. The usual cleaning process is from the inside out. But with this option or with this cleaning method, the dirt will be blown in the unit, so the dirt will remain in your unit. And this is not a very efficient cleaning process. The advanced cleaning process would be from the inside out, and with our adapter ring solution, this is possible without the need of an electrician, and you can restore almost 100% of the initial cooling capacity and efficiency. To add something, our adapter rings are available in different sizes, so you can retrofit any size and can be customized to any unit.
Okay, so let's change the subject a bit, talking about financial support. If I would put myself into the shoes of an operator looking for financial support to get my installation renewed, Harald, are there any financial support programs available in Germany which would help to get the entire project financially on an attractive level?
Yes, of course. It's not so easy to answer question. So there are several programs issued by the German government. The recent one is, for example, the Retrofit program concerning Corona refurbishment, and it was adopted by the German Parliament in the end of August. But surprisingly, the biggest share of these supports are simply not used. And in my opinion, the main reason for that is that the customers, in the most cases, don't know about these subventions or this money flow. What we are doing is, if we are telling our customers every time that they look what is on the market, and we refer to our partners, and they have a range from just giving general informations up to accompaniment towards the application of this support at the third parties, for example, the buffer or the KfW bank.
Mm-hmm. So consequentially, the same question to you, Nils. Are there similar support programs on European level?
Mm-hmm. Yes, also from an international sales point of view, I could mention that there are several possibilities, but of course they are different from country to country. But just to give you a short example, I would like to mention the UK scheme. We have here the Enhanced Capital Allowance Scheme, which is one of the key parts from the UK government to manage the climate change. It has offered in the past a tax relief, but at the moment there are some changes ongoing. But the idea behind is quite simple. It should support companies which are investing in low carbon technologies. So there's distributed a list from the UK government which specifies products which are energy saving products. If you now as a company are investing in such a product, you have the chance to get some money back by financial funds. But Andreas, as you mentioned before, the ZIEHL-ABEGG group is one of the experts in terms of retrofitting. But of course, all our subsidiaries worldwide are the local partners. They know which program best is suitable to be successfully used in retrofit activities. So you are warmly welcomed, all interested parties, to be with our customers, to be with our partners, to be with our subsidiaries, and to find the best solution for your retrofit activity.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's the right moment now to include you into our virtual discussion here as well. And we would like to start now to answer your questions, which we have got from you. So the number of questions is, as far as I can see, quite huge. So the first question I would like to address to you, Florian. What kind of informations are basically necessary for the engineering of a retrofit project, and what to do if the nameplate data are not readable anymore? I assume that this member is not doing the first retrofit project, Florian.
Yeah, this happens very often that we don't have the nameplate on the unit anymore. But basically you can say you need two types of information. You need the information for the fan selection, and then you need the information for the return on investment calculation. First of all, for the fan selection, you need the sum of pressure losses the fan has to bridge of the whole system. Then you need the required airflow for the process. Also needed is the temperature conditions inside the unit. And we also need available space for our installations, because that's the space that we have to build our fan walls, for example. And it's always helpful if you send pictures to us, because our colleagues inside ZIEHL-ABEGG then can have a view inside the unit and can select the fans better. Then for the return on investment calculation, the most important thing is, of course, the power consumption of the current fan, and also the load profile of the unit. This means the working hours of the unit. For example, as already said with the ECQ example, if you have, for example, a day and night mode. But yeah, don't be afraid of all the informations we need from you. We have a worldwide network of partners, and they are always available for you and your questions, so don't be afraid of it.
So this means the more information, the better, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. So the next question out of the chat is called, how can retrofit improve the reliability of an application? That's a very interesting question. If I would put myself into the shoes of an operator from a hospital, for example, I would be, of course, very much interested in to have a very efficient application to save money, simple like that. But I would say if I think about the surgery room, I'm pretty sure that reliability is an as important point as efficiency. Florian, what is your experience with that?
Yeah, I think the reliability of a unit is getting more and more important for the operators. And I think new fans or a new fan in general improves the reliability of the unit, because you have new bearings and you have new state-of-the-art technology. Then another point is if you replace a single fan, for example, a belt-driven single fan with multiple fan arrangement, you have a redundancy operation, or it's possible to have a redundancy operation of the unit. This means if one fan fails, the other can easily compensate the lack of airflow, for example. Then also another benefit of if you change into direct-driven EC fans, you have no maintenance there, because if you have a single belt-driven fan, you would have to maintain the belt and also have to grease the bearings from time to time. And I think these are the most beneficial things you have when you use new products.
Mm. So the next question out of the chat goes into the direction of trends. What kind of trend does ZIEHL-ABEGG see in the world of retrofit? Nils, I assume that ZIEHL-ABEGG really observes the markets. They know already today what kind of trends are coming up tomorrow to be prepared for tomorrow. What is your experience?
Mm-hmm. Of course, this is our main target to do so. But like we mentioned before, the sensibility of saving energy has become higher and higher. The awareness is there, and this is of course a trend. Nevertheless, the legal requirements should not be underestimated. The requirements in terms of ventilation units, refrigeration units, but also fans is getting higher and higher. Another very important point, we see a lot of interest of owners to invest in their premises. But the very actual and current trend, like Harald mentioned before, is out of COVID-19. In the past, it was all about efficiency and acoustics. But nowadays, indoor air quality is playing a major role. It's very important to reduce the contamination of virus, but also bacteria inside the air we are breathing. And for that, more and more units are equipped with mechanical filtration. That, of course, causes higher pressure drops inside a unit. So at the end of the day, we need again fans with corresponding performance. So this is also a very ongoing trend at the moment.
Okay. So next question is, how can be the potential business of retrofit in Germany be estimated? I already mentioned in my the beginning of my statement that 17% of the German electrical power consumption can be directly dedicated to a refrigeration and air conditioning market. So Harald, considering that, I'm pretty sure that the German market seems to be quite huge for retrofit.
That's right. For the refrigeration and HVAC business, it's not easy to estimate. As far as I remember, there are about 500,000 air handling units in operation just in Germany. And other figures say, according to the German Ministry of Nature and Environment Protection, that there are about 120 million refrigeration and AC units in operation, also only in Germany. When you sum up these figures and consider only that they are older than 10 years, we would have a lot to do, wouldn't we?
Most probably you're right. So the next question is, how can one easily estimate if retrofitting of an installation makes in general sense? Do you have a general rule of thumb? That's a good question, which most probably a lot of owners of application are in front of. So Florian, what would you give us an answer for that question?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, and of course there are some indicators or how high the potential is. For example, if you have a high airflow and low pressure drops inside your unit, there's almost every time a huge potential of savings. Also, as already mentioned, when you look inside your unit and you see a belt-driven fan in there, that's a really big indicator of savings also. And the last thing I can say is that for a rule of thumb is that the operating time of the fans is very good indicator if you want to have savings in your unit. If you have high operating times, you have most of the time also high savings.
Thank you. So the next question is, how far can any potential risks be foreseen which may have a negative impact onto the return of investment? We so far have talked a lot about pros, yes, but we cannot avoid to talk about cons. Florian, what is your experience in that?
Yeah, of course, there are also some risks in the retrofit business, but therefore we have our competent partners all over the world who can do measurements on site to reduce these risks to a minimum. And because the most important thing for a reliable return on investment estimation is the data quality of the existing application. And of course, the biggest impact on the ROE estimation has the delta between the old power consumption and the new power consumption. So in general, or concluding, you can say the more precise the basic data, the more accurate the return on investment calculation will be later on.
Okay. So as far as I can see, the next question is quite technical driven. What if an application is not controlled at all yet? Does ZIEHL-ABEGG have possibilities to provide a controlled solution? So Nils, what would you give here as an answer for?
Thank you, Andreas. I think it's very important to offer to our customers a system concept. And for that reason, we have a big portfolio which includes also control equipment. This control equipment extends from very simple sensors to do airflow or pressure control inside a unit, or to monitor the pressure drop over a filter system. But nevertheless, we also have in our portfolio high sophisticated frequency inverters, but also Modbus master modules. Just to give you concrete examples, we heard before that it's more and more common to use multiple fan arrangement inside the retrofit sector of air handling units. With such control equipment from ZIEHL-ABEGG, you are able to control and monitor such a fan arrangement, which of course is also a very important thing for retrofit activities.
Okay. So the next question out of the chat is, if a current application is controlled with a two-step only, would be a two-step system possible with your stepless controllable EC fans? So I understand this question, that there's an application, can be switched on, can be switched off, and the operation mode is either reduced power and full power. So Harald, what kind of answer would you give to this question?
I would say yes, this should be no problem. It is our daily work to convert or to retrofit units from on-off mode to a stepless controllable EC mode. We have also the possibility to use different ways to control it via 0 to 10 volts, signal or PWM signal or via several bus systems.
Okay. So the next question goes into the future. So how does ZIEHL-ABEGG get prepared for retrofit in the future? Nils, would you please be so kind and tell us the bullet points ZIEHL-ABEGG has available for the future?
Yeah. On that point, I would not like to start with a pure product itself. I would like to underline the philosophy we are going with these retrofit things. For me, it's very important to underline that the key contributing factor is the close cooperation with our local partners. Only with them we are able to improve our level of knowledge continuously. How do we do that? We are combining the fan expertise we have as a fan manufacturer and combine that with the unit and system expertise of our partners. At the end, our target is to reduce the burden of operators and to give them added value. At the end, we have to have a reduced cost, which is equal to reduced return of investment time. Nevertheless, or furthermore, I would like to mention again also our concept of the ZA Blue Galaxy. All our EC fans are IoT ready. So, like heard before, we can collect, monitor, but also evaluate different values of the fan, like speed, temperature, but also vibration. And again, to give you a concrete example, for example, as an operator, it's possible to define limit values for vibration. If then a threshold is exceeded, it's possible to have an alert, for example, on your mobile phone as a text message. Therefore, actions can be taken right up front before the system breaks down. And that, for me, Andreas, is one of the key trends for the future in retrofit.
Thank you. So the next question seems to me a bit tricky. How does ZIEHL-ABEGG distinguish itself from the competitors? So my conclusion out of that question is that our competitors are watching us as well, which we really appreciate. But Florian, what would you give here an answer for?
Yeah, I'd be glad to give an answer here. I think a huge benefit is our product portfolio. We are active in all the key branches and have the right products for every branch. This is, I think, a huge benefit of using or working together with ZIEHL-ABEGG. Then we also have our development in-house and have a huge vertical scale of production. And with this huge scale of vertical production, we can easily offer customized solution to our customers or for special markets. Then also the availability of our products is very good, as well as our standard products and our EC products, as well as our components have a very good availability, I think. And yeah, another benefit is, as already mentioned, that all our fans can communicate with external devices and also can be controlled by our ZA code system, and also can communicate and be monitored by our ZA Blue Galaxy cloud solution. And another thing is, I think that our branch management is also doing a very good job because they permanently monitor the market, and this gives us the opportunity to develop the products for tomorrow already today. And yeah, what I want to add finally is that we are one of the market leaders in OEM business, and we know very good which products are in the market and which old products are also in the market. And this gives us the possibility to give our partners or the operators of the units outside recommendations on which units or which products they can execute retrofit projects. And I think this is a huge benefit that we have that knowledge.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that especially product management, observing the market, that this is an important asset for the future to be prepared with. Thank you. So next question is, how does ZIEHL-ABEGG solve the problem of cramped access conditions coming to the installation? So this is a very, a question out of practice. So I can imagine that people doing installations, doing retrofit projects, that are always faced with doors, tight aisles, and this creates most probably a huge problem to get access. So Nils, what would be the solution of ZIEHL-ABEGG to get this problem slightly enforced?
I think here it makes sense to answer this question with an example, as it's quite practical. We heard before we have the ZIEHL-ABEGG system, which is suitable to build up multiple fan arrangements. And it's quite common in the air unit sector, for example, to use several small fans instead of one big fan. And here, of course, we have considered that the doors have a certain dimension, and all our 3 sizes of the ZIEHL-ABEGG are easily can put forward these door dimensions. And further on, very important to know, ZIEHL-ABEGG offers also possibilities of increased performance. So for me, that is one of the problem solver you ask for.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I really regret that we have almost reached the end of our given time frame, but we still have a big number of questions to be answered. As I already mentioned, please allow ZIEHL-ABEGG to get back to you after the exhibition, giving you the answers for the questions you are looking for. We would be very much interested in if within this communication there would be some fruitful communication out of which all the participants, you as well as we, would take an advantage from. But before we are going to close this roundtable discussion, I would like to invite my guests here in the studio to do a final statement. And Harald, I would like to ask you to start with.
Thank you, Andreas. I'd like to emphasize this. That's why I'm saying this. As I mentioned before, there's a big market for HVAC refurbishments, especially in the section of ventilation around the world and also in Germany. These projects could and should even be developed step by step. And we are able to assist customers or partners with, for example, on-site visits, amortization calculations, offers, etc. Do not hesitate to contact my colleagues and me. Take the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Florian, would you please continue?
Yes, of course. I think we pointed out clearly that you have a strong global acting partner with ZIEHL-ABEGG, and we also have a huge product portfolio also with special products for the retrofit business. And with our network of global partners and service companies, it's even possible to execute global projects in a large scale. And the potential of energy savings, it's huge. So use your chance now to save resources for you, for your company, and for your planet, or our planet. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Nils, would you please finish this round?
I think the discussion has highlighted that besides the pure fan, only a wide system approach will enable all of us to be successful in the market of retrofit. For that reason, more than ever, in my opinion, strong partnerships and networks are necessary to have the right answers related to technical equipment, legal aspects, regional funding programs, and of course, digitization.
Thank you. I would like to do a very general statement. All individuals are responsible for the planet and the remaining resources on it. There are many possibilities to contribute to that target, and retrofit is just one out of that, but a very important one, as we heard today. So my wish would be to all of you, let's push together this retrofit approach to a higher level of recognition in the society. This is a target which is definitely worth to be fight for. Many thanks to all of you in the chat for your interesting contribution. Colleagues, I would like to thank you for the really valid contribution from your side. I can only wish all of us and you, of course, to all the best. Stay healthy, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.